Hey there. Welcome, Instagram. My name is Gavin Weber, and today I'm going to talk to you about 3 things I learned in 2020 in hopes that it can give you some clarity on things you're going through and be helpful in some way. So, today is New Year's Eve. You might be watching this afterwards. Happy New Year's. Happy getting through 2020. What a year, right? Listen, my higher self wants to be like, oh, I embrace the learning, the growth, the healing. I see the perfection. What a ride. And then my other old self, maybe my ego self, is like, oh my gosh, that sucked. You took away my freedoms. You took away my life. And I don't want to go through that again. This has to change. It's not working. The list goes on and on. I'm sure you can relate. And I want you to know, if you follow me on Instagram, I share what I want to learn. I teach what I want to practice. And I'm never coming from a high horse. I'm never like, oh, look at me. I've got this all taken care of and all figured out. It's dissolving the illusion. This channel, my YouTube channel, is about my sharing and the transparency of what it's like to go through this world, especially as a spiritual student. I like to focus on A Course in Miracles as my path, but it's applicable to many, many people who are wanting to wake up, wanting to detach from what they used to think needed to happen in order to be happy, and that they know there's a bigger picture and that they should be feeling differently, and that life should be coming, there's just so much more there than what meets the eye. Okay. So that's what this channel is about. And so I do a lot of YouTube videos, and you don't have a huge following yet. This isn't like the most, of course, Miracles isn't like the most popular thing right now. And I'm trying to get that out there because I think it'd be helpful to so many people like it has for me. But it's asked you to do quite a few things that people don't want to do, don't sound fun, and are difficult, seemingly difficult. So I just created a YouTube video, quick plug, the other day that just posted yesterday about goal setting, what I did last year, right before the pandemic, and how that went and what I'm going to be doing this year. And if you're a goal setter, I encourage you to look at it or to watch it, because I think you'll learn some stuff. Maybe look at some things in a different perspective. So back to what I was going to say and want to share today. 3 things I learned in 2020 that have helped me immensely. Okay. And number 1 on the list is, I've known for a long time that, we all are this, but I was big time with this, is a judger. And I realized how much my judgments are causing me an extreme amount of pain. Okay. And I also understand, why I've judged. My whole life and everyone's is based on their beliefs, and their beliefs are causing what is happening and transpiring in their life. And I always thought, for years, and this is just recent within the last few years, that I had it all figured out, and that I understood how the universe worked. I understood what love was. I understood the meaning of life. And with that was what I've realized, a lot of arrogance and really protection, distraction, making me feel powerful, that I've got it figured out and other people don't. And I convinced myself of this. So therefore, with judgments in many different ways, if somebody was doing something that I was observing, whether it was on TV or somebody I'm interacting in life, a client, a boss, a family member, a friend, I would look at the situation and analyze and be like, this is what's happening. And so I would have this perfect story around it. And, that was my story, my illusion based on like my belief systems. And in so many ways, even like things about the world, the election, the pandemic, vaccinations, everything pertinent to like this year, like I'm right. And all these other people are sheep and they don't understand and they don't get it. And they're suffering because of it. And the joke is like, I was the one suffering because I've realized now I don't understand anything. Like everything that I've ever thought is not necessarily true or the truth. And therefore, by having all these stories, yes, it temporarily made me think that I was powerful, made me more confident about myself, made me actually just deny how I was really feeling, because I was like, I got this figured out. But inside, there's pain. Inside, there's fear. Inside, there's anger and hurt and confusion. And in so many ways, that just shows up over and over in my life. By judging people, I'm judging myself. I'm judging the belief I have about myself. And I'm starting to understand when I let go from the fact that I don't really understand anything, that I can start allowing a new perspective to enter. And a new perspective, I desperately want to experience love in its fullest form. That is absolutely possible. And I don't really believe in bodies as much, but I'm still in a body. I'm still here. Like, how can I personify acceptance, joy, abundance, and absolute love? And by having those judgments are a way to accuse, to make people guilty, to protect myself from feeling disconnected with the universe, with love, with God. And I've realized that. And all judgment is ever doing is making the unreal real, which is causing the fear, which is causing the guilt. And I'm starting to realize I don't understand. I don't need to analyze this situation. I don't need to have it all figured out. I don't need to make every choice for myself. I'm not going to go into, guidance and spirit and like the Holy Spirit and like listening to that guidance, because that's not what this video is about. But I've just realized I'm extremely judgmental to other people, to what's happening in the world, and therefore to myself. And just that realization feels free, feels good. And that I can take my guard down. I don't have to say I have it all figured out. And I can allow the guidance to come in. And that's the true power. That's the real power. That's truth. I'm letting truth in now, rather than what my mind wants to make up about what I think I'm seeing. Okay? So judgments have caused me pain, and I'm starting to see the innocence in everything. Still baby steps. Long way to go. Okay, number 2. I wrote these down. It's a little bit along those lines, but one of the biggest principles in A Course in Miracles is only love is real. And when I first heard this, I was like, oh my gosh, I love that thought. I love the truth of those words. And I haven't been very good at living it, because a lot of my actions show that I don't believe that. Judgments show that. A lot of my actions are based on fear. And if I believed only love was real, I would let go of a lot of stuff that I do with my time and my choices and how I treat people, how I treat myself, how I spend my time in this world would look a lot different if I really believed only love is real. And, I've kind of learned to take in another look at that. Only love has meaning. Only love is worth focusing on. Only love matters, right? That's another thing of saying, like, replacing real. And when you look at that from that perspective and go deeper in it, I feel like everything that people do in this world is a cry for help because they're not experiencing love. No one would ever say anything negative, do anything negative, hurt anybody physically, mentally, anyway, if they knew only love was real, which means that they are love. That's who they really are, right? So everything is the belief that that's not true, which brings in, again, the guilt, the fear, the sadness, the depression, the stress, all these things that we experience in this world. And then what I've done and what I see most people doing is we don't even know what love looks like. We're scared as hell of it. It terrorizes us, which I didn't understand before. And therefore we distract ourselves into bank accounts, and jobs, and our body, and working out, and all these things that we think, oh, that's kind of like satiate that appetite of us feeling bad about ourselves and about life and not understanding it. And when you look at what really matters, we all kind of start, like it's our relationships. Like so many people have died this year, and it's like you get reminded all the time, whether you look at it or not, like what really matters is like the experience of love, of the relationships of love, of sharing and giving and being kind and coming from that. And that's the expression of who we really are. And when we're doing that, it feels amazing because we're in the act of being our truth, okay? And we're remembering only love is real when we're coming from that place. And it's so in this world of form, like it's so hard to realize that we're just minds. Like everything is mind because gosh, this body, these fingers. I mean, I'm right now, I'm if you see what's behind me, hopefully you're laughing because I do other videos and that's my background. It's an illusion. It looks like a brick wall. I have just moved this out into my garage, but it's just like paper that I put up against the wall to make it look like I have a brick wall for a good background because like YouTube tells me like the background matters, right? So I thought it'd be fun today to be real and be like, here's my foosball table. I'm in my garage because my kids are always loud and got microphones in the back, using my new iPhone and like getting used to like different apps. I mean, it's all just like, it's all an illusion. And I'm sharing that on this video. Look at my background. So I realized this year only love is real. Okay. Now, the third thing, I wrote these things down. I've realized that nothing in this world actually makes me happy. Okay. Now, I would have fought you on this for many years until maybe just recently. Time's the illusion too, but what I mean by that nothing of this world makes me happy as I used to be like, if I hit this goal, I'm happy. If I make this amount of money, I'm happy. If I have this car, this house, this relationship, these friends, this membership, this body, boom, happy. And real quick, I did a lot of those things, most of them, and still something felt missing, like I said in the beginning of this video. And what I've realized is like, happiness it was never joy, love, abundance is never found out there. Everything is within us, within our mind. And the instant that we need something to happen the way we want it to happen, we're screwed. We're attached. It's conditional. Our happiness is conditional. Look at the pandemic this year. A lot of things felt like they were taken from us. The safety of going out in public, having to wear masks. And I live in California. Oh my gosh, like the restrictions are insane. Curfews, masks everywhere. My kids haven't gone to school all year and it's looking like they're not. And you know what kind of, anger that brings up? Like it's one thing that I'm going through this to watch my kids go through it and they're handling it pretty well. But my daughter's a senior. My oldest is a senior. Like she, not bragging, a happy dad, but she's like, it's a big high school and she's the president of the high school. And she had all these plans and it's all just been taken. And that's kind of the point is like, we don't have control and, new age, manifestation, law of attraction, all these things will want to be like, oh no, you can control everything. Okay. I'm here to tell you that there are always going to be things that don't go as planned, that don't go the way you want, and that is not what you were hoping would happen, okay? And the more we attach to that, the more we hang on to that need for things to go the way we want, we're going to be unhappy. Even if we make the money and do the goal, oh, it could have been this way, it could have been that way, it could have been more, it could have been better. This little thing didn't go as planned. It's endless. So I'm learning to let go of anything out there needing to happen in order for me to be happy. And that I know I am, like, the source of who I am is happiness, is joy. And when I'm not experiencing that, I realize I'm out of alignment. I realize I'm not connected to God. I realize that I have forgotten. And then I have all kinds of exercises I do to remember: breathing, meditating. I get up early and read A Course in Miracles workbook every day. Conversations. There's just lots of things I do to bring myself back to truth, having nothing to do with this world. If you rely on this world as the source of your joy, it's not gonna work out that great. And what's cool is when you reverse cause and effect, when you change your beliefs, then you come from that creation mode. When I'm coming from happiness of who I am, I get to go be the example of that. When I'm coming from love and remembering that's who I really am and nothing else, I get to give that. I get to share that. I get to prove that to myself and be the example of that in physical form while I'm in a body. I say this to my wife all the time. This world is absolutely mad. You have to look at this last year. It's insane. A pandemic starts in China, spreads across the world. Everybody loses their mind on how to deal with it, what's going to be necessary. Well, what's right for me, somebody else needs to do. And oh, you didn't do this, so that affects me. And blame, judgment, accusations, conspiracy theories. What people forget is we're born into this crazy world. Let's just call it neutral. We develop these beliefs that we're taught. We participate fully, all the while ignoring that we're going to die. We're all going to die. We don't really know when. And we don't follow our heart or follow our purpose or look for what love means and go through all this stuff and then wonder why there's high divorce rates, high unhappiness, high depression, tons of people taking medications, people murdering people taking tons of drugs and drinking alcohol. And it's the manifestation of the collective unconscious of avoiding our connection to God. And you can substitute God with love. And we can give that all up at any moment. We don't die. We're not bodies. There is no limitation. There is no lack. There is no fear. There is no guilt. There's nothing of the negativity of this world that truly exists. And we so make that true. And it's an illusion. So, I've learned my source of happiness, abundance, and love comes within me and that remembrance. And I do everything I can. Instagram, I only follow positive people. I barely ever read the news. I started reading the news recently to test myself. Can I be in a good place and not get caught up in the illusion? I've been doing decent with that. I'm a little entertained by it too. But 3 things this year. Judgments cause pain. I don't understand. I'm learning that. Number 2, only love is real. All the other stuff is bullshit. Focus on what matters. I had a friend the other day that his wife, well, my friend too, his wife, but her mom died unexpectedly. They were able to be there, but she was healthy 6 weeks ago. We just never know. And then all these things we make important, we yell at the news and yell at this politician. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It's missing the entire point. And when we start focusing on only love and seeing other people, no matter what we want to judge them for as only love, we get to experience that. We get to realize the truth. It's beautiful. It's the whole premise of A Course in Miracles and forgiveness. And nothing in this world is going to provide me the happiness I'm hoping for, except for me, except for my mind, except for my choice, except for the remembrance of who I really am. So, my friend, 2020, go watch my goal setting video. Plug. Don't get caught up in what you think is happening, because it's way beyond what you could ever imagine. Don't think that you have to come up with all the answers. Don't think that you have all the answers. Don't put that pressure on yourself. It's all unfolding. It's all aligning. And we have to remove the barriers of the presence of love. Like the barriers that guard against the presence of love. Love is there, and we're removing what appears to be something else. Okay? So, happy 2021. I send my love, I send my blessings, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you this year, coming from my heart, doing this journey together.